not apologize for terrorist number one taunt. Tirupati temple Prasad Rao erupts. Andhra Chief Minister claims animal fat used to make Prasad during YSRCP rule. Jagan Mohan Reddy hits back, says temple sanctity insulted. Pakistan minister triggers a big row, backs Congress and National Conference will restore Article 370 remark. Prime Minister Modi hits out, says Congress, NC and Pakistan have the same agenda.
कांग्रेस नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के अलायंस की बल्ले बल्ले हो रही है पाकिस्तान में। जो पाकिस्तान का एजेंडा है वहां के मंत्री बोल रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi lashes out at Rahul Gandhi's speech abroad, says Rahul insulted our Devis and Devtas, urges voters to punish those who insult them. Shocking car and bike collision in Gurugram. SUV driving on wrong side of road rams into biker. He dies on the spot. SUV plastered with BJP sticker. Driver arrested, then released. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to kick off two-day US visit from September 21st with a quad meeting and bilateral on the sidelines. No confirmation on Modi-Trump meeting yet. Death toll mounts in Lebanon after serial explosions. 37 killed so far, nearly 500 injured since pagers and handheld radios detonate. It is now a letter war between the Congress and the BJP over threats to Rahul Gandhi. Union Minister Ravneet Bittu is defiant over his terrorist number one remark and he has refused to apologize. Meanwhile, Congress Chief Kharge shot off a letter to the Prime Minister prompting a sharp reply from JP Nadda. BJP claims Congress outrage is selective while the Grand Old Party demands action.
देश के नंबर वन टेररिस्ट अगर किसी को मेरी ख्याल से किस पे अनाम होना चाहिए पकड़ने के लिए या देश का सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन जो जिसको लाना चाहिए एजेंसीज को वो आज राहुल गांधी।
Union Minister Ravneet Singh Bittu is under fire for calling the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, a terrorist. After Delhi, Congress leaders in Bengaluru have filed a police case against Bittu. The minister, who had commented on Rahul's statement in the US on Sikh struggles, is accused of promoting enmity among groups and disseminating false information to the public. Bittu, however, is defiant.
मुझे खेद क्यों होगा ये बताइए ना। हम पंजाब ने हमने तो यार अपनी पीढ़ियां खो दी। पंजाब आग में जला दिया इस गांधी फैमिली ने, और जिसमें मेरे दादा जी सरदार बेअंत सिंह जी जो टेररिज्म इनकी गलतियों से पंजाब में आया, उसको ठीक करते करते 35,000 लोग चले गए। पन्नू गुरपंत पन्नू सबसे बड़ा टेररिस्ट है, और जो रेफरेंडम करा रहा है खालिस्तान के लिए, उसकी जबान और राहुल गांधी की जबान एक होगी तो उसको क्या कहेंगे।
अभी कांग्रेस का इसको
BJP leaders have come out in support of Bittu.
राहुल गांधी देश में विपक्ष का नेता है, संसद में विपक्ष का नेता है। वो देश का विपक्ष का नेता नहीं है। बाहर देश में विदेश में हम एक है, ऐसा तो उसका मन में होना चाहिए। इतना अक्ल तो होना चाहिए। उतना अक्ल नहीं है तो हम क्या बोलना राहुल गांधी को। बिट्टू भी वही बोला।
The BJP and Congress are also engaged in a heated exchange of letters that has added fuel to the fire. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge this week wrote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi voicing concerns about threats issued to Rahul Gandhi by BJP leaders. BJP chief JP Nadda has hit back, questioning the silence of Congress on the frequent verbal attacks faced by the Prime Minister. Nadda also accused Rahul Gandhi of aligning with pro-Pakistan and anti-India elements. The fierce face-off was sparked by Rahul Gandhi's comments in the US, where he spoke about Sikh struggles in India.
The fight is about whether he, as a Sikh, is going to be allowed to wear his turban in India. Or he, as a Sikh, is going to be allowed to wear a kada in India. Or he, as a Sikh, is going to be able to go to a Gurdwara. That's what the fight is about.
Do you know what Devta means in?
Rahul's statement last week has triggered a firestorm that is showing no signs of being doused. Bureau Report, India Today.
In India.
All right, down south, massive controversy right now brewing, viewers, where Andhra Pradesh is concerned. It's now a fight over the famous Tirupati temple, Prasadam. Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu claims the animal fat was used to make the laddus during YSRCP tenure. Jagan Mohan Reddy has come out refuting the charges, claiming he is ready to take oath inside the temple. Nearly 1 lakh devotees visit the Tirupati temple daily. What's the fact and what's fiction?
These laddus are big business in Tirupati. Nothing less than the holy grail for devotees visiting the Tirumala temple in Andhra Pradesh. More than 15 crore laddus are prepared in these halls every year. 2 of these laddus are given to each devotee as the prasadam of the Tirumala Venkateswara temple. However, the taste of these iconic laddus has been soured a little in the past 24 hours. Andhra Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu shocked his audience in a legislature party meeting of the ruling NDA in Amravati, alleging that animal fat had been used instead of ghee under the previous state government. The charges were backed by a former Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam's board member.
దేవుని దగ్గర పెట్టే ప్రసాదం అపవిత్రం చేసే విధంగా ఓసారి బాధేస్తుంది. నాసి రకమైన ఇంగ్రీడియంట్సే కాకుండా ఎనిమల్ ఫ్యాట్ కూడా వాడారని, ఏది గీకు బదులు. ఈరోజు స్వచ్ఛమైన గీ తెమన్నాం, ప్రక్షాళన చేయమన్నాం, నాణ్యత పెరిగింది, ఇంకా కూడా నాణ్యత పెంచుతాం.
సరే, మీరు చెప్పిన కండిషన్స్ ప్రకారం ఇన్ని లక్షల ఆవు పాలు ఉత్పత్తి చేయగలిగే సామర్థ్యం కావాలి. ఆవు పాలు ఉత్పత్తి చేయగలిగి మనం వెన్నకు కన్వర్ట్ చేసే సామర్థ్యం ఉండాలి. దాన్ని మనం నెయ్యిగా ఇన్ని డిగ్రీస్ టెంపరేచర్ చేయగలిగే సామర్థ్యం ఉండాలని చెప్పి మీరు కండిషన్ పెట్టినా అవన్నీ పక్కన పెట్టేసి కేడస్ దగ్గర తక్కువ రేటుకు వచ్చాడు.
The opposition was quick to deny the charges and responded with its own counter-attack. YSRCP, which was in power in Andhra till June this year, called the charges malicious and said that Naidu had severely damaged the sanctity of the temple and the faith of devotees. Former officials of the temple board also slammed the chief minister.
అత్యంత దారుణాతి దారుణమైనటువంటి ఆరోపణ ఆయన చేయటం జరిగింది. దిట్టం రూపంలో స్వామివారి అపరభక్తులైనటువంటి తన రాజకీయ స్వప్రయోజనాల కోసమని జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి గారి మీద బురద చల్లాలన్నటువంటి ఉద్దేశంతో చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారు ఈ రకమైనటువంటి ఆరోపణ చేయటం అంటే తన నైతికతను మరింత దిగజార్చుకోవటం తప్ప మరొకటి కాదు.
The Tirumala temple receives the highest donation among all temples in India. Its budget for 2022-23 showed cash offerings of more than 1,000 crore rupees. Its interest revenue from deposits in banks is nearly 670 crore rupees. Prasad sales account for 365 crores, though reports say that Temple Trust incurs a loss of 200 crore every year under this head. Revenue from tickets is around 362 crore rupees. The temple earns around 250 crore through other sources. For all involved, any controversy surrounding the humble laddu could mean a huge monetary setback. A 175-gram laddu is sold for 100 rupees by the temple. With nearly 2.5 crore annual visitors, this translates into big numbers. Even the procurement of 5,000 tons of ghee for these laddus by the trust is a politically sensitive issue. For long, Karnataka Milk Federation has been the primary supplier. But last year, Amul emerged as the lowest bidder for the 250 crore rupee contract, setting off political fireworks in Andhra and across the border in Karnataka. With Apurva Jayachandran in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, a lab test report dated July 2024 reveals that animal fat, beef tallow and fish oil were found in the temple Prasadam samples. Listen in.
లార్డ్ అంటే యానిమల్ ఫ్యాట్, జంతువుల మాంసం. అవి ఏ జంతువులో మనకు తెలీదు. కుక్కలు కావచ్చు, నక్కలు కావచ్చు, పిల్లులు కావచ్చు, కుళ్ళిపోయిన కుక్క పిల్లలు కావచ్చు. మనం చూస్తుంటాం కుక్కల మాంసం వస్తుంటుంది చెన్నై నుంచి. మా నెల్లూరుకి ఎన్నిసార్లు పట్టుకున్నారో తెలుసా మీకు? ఏమా నెల్లూరులో పట్టుకున్నారు లేదా? 1000 టన్నులు పట్టుకున్నారు, 100 టన్నులు. ఆ నూనె కూడా వాడారని భయముగా ఉన్నది.
एक पापी मुख्यमंत्री ने हमारे मंदिर को अपवित्र करने का षड्यंत्र किया गया. मैं हमारे मुख्यमंत्री चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी से निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि इसने जगन मोहन रेड्डी ने जो पाप किया है वो जनता के सामने आप लेकर आइए. और हमारे अमित शाह जी होम मिनिस्टर जी से निवेदन करना चाहता हूं, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी से निवेदन करना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि आप लोग भी कईयों बार उस प्राचीन मंदिर के दर्शन करने गए, आप लोगों ने भी उस लड्डू को ग्रहण किया. ये इसकी सरकार के समय पर तो पता नहीं क्या हुआ होगा. तो इसलिए मैं मोदी जी से, अमित शाह जी से, खास करके मुख्यमंत्री जी जो चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी है, उनसे निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि इसके षड्यंत्र को पब्लिक के सामने लेकर आए और ऐसे व्यक्ति को तुरंत अरेस्ट करे.
Massive controversy there and a huge political slugfest. Importantly, because it concerns Hindu beliefs, it's also become deeply concerning in terms of what kind of fat has been used where the Tirupati Prasadam is concerned. The lab report there seems to suggest that it has traces of animal fat, which includes beef tallow. Now, what does it really mean in terms, was there contamination? What is the veracity of this lab test? Till now, the Temple Trust has not spoken, so there is no word coming in from the Temple Trust. But this particular lab report seems to suggest that other than vegetable oils like soya bean, sunflower, olive oil, there is also traces of beef tallow, lard, which is animal fat, and fish oil. My colleague Apurva joins us live for more on this. Apurva, at one end, you have Jagan Mohan Reddy, who's saying he's ready to take oath inside the temple complex to say that he has no role in this. But can you give us the background? Who ordered this particular test? Were there suspicions that were raised that animal fat was being used? Why suddenly was a lab report sought of the kind of fat being used to make the prasadam at the Tirupati temple?
Well, Preeti, let me break this down to you. The Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam's board usually conducts regular checks on the quality of ingredients that are being procured. Every year there are tenders that are being brought out wherein several companies from across India will go ahead and file for these tenders and claim these tenders, be it for ghee, which is this case of the results that we are getting back, or other natural ingredients such as jaggery or salt or any of these other kind of ingredients that is being used in making these prasadams. What we are getting to learn is that this specific report in question, it was in fact placed for testing on 17th of July. That is what we are getting to learn. And on the 27th, nearly almost after 10 days, what they are able to find is, findings are quite shocking. Not only were they able to find that the ghee was in an adulterated quantity and quality, but they were also able to find, lard, beef tallow, fish oil, and several
the sample, Apurva, was taken when?
This sample, in fact, was taken on the 17th of July. These samples were taken from 5 of these vendors that had given these tenders for the Tirumala, and during one of those regular checks that happened, it is being noted that of those 5 vendors, one of them turned out to have adulterated and very poor quality of ingredients that had been provided to
How often
Tirumala.
do these checks happen? Is there an interim time every 6 months, every 3 months? How often do these checks
these checks, in fact, take place on a regular basis as the Tirumala prides itself on the quality and the quantity of prasadam that they are giving to these deities, to the devotees who throng every year, just to catch a glimpse of the deity there, Lord Venkateshwara. We are getting to learn that these are regular checks that are conducted by the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams. These checks that are being made when there are tenders, like I said, being issued out by the Tirumala for vendors to go ahead and see if they can be able to go ahead and bag these tenders that have been placed forth. In fact, several tenders that have gone out every year, and in these tenders what we are getting to learn is that a couple of companies, be it from Karnataka or from Visakhapatnam or Chennai or Punjab, in fact, these are where ghee productions mostly take place, and these are a couple of the regular companies that go ahead and file for these tenders. The lowest bidder for these tenders usually bags the contract. That's what we are
Apurva,
getting
you're
to
saying
learn.
these checks and balances take place on a routine manner. So even though you had the YSRCP government earlier, there were checks that took place through the 5-year tenure, and it is only the first time that adulteration has been found?
There were, what we are getting to learn is that these checks were conducted just in July, and this was just after, let me remind you, Mr. Naidu came into power. Remember, he swore in June of this year, and in July these tests were conducted. In fact, when these tests were conducted, it is also to be mentioned that just a couple of, this was around the same time when there was also a complete revamp of the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam board members as such, because there had been allegations based on religious beliefs and whatnot with respect to the past members of the board, including the chairman himself. And with the revamp of the board that took place somewhere in June and July, that is when these checks were ordered. In fact, Mr. Naidu there, after he was sworn in as the chief minister, his first visits or first schedule, in fact, was to go to Tirumala and have the darshan of Lord Venkateshwara, following which he had also given a very strong statement there in Tirumala, where he said that there is going to be a complete cleanse of the Tirumala board, of the Tirumala, starting right from Tirumala in terms of governance as well. And that was one of the bold statements.
Yes, but what also would be very interesting to note is, because if contamination and adulteration is checked on a routine basis where the Tirupati temple is concerned, then possibly through the 5-year tenure of the former chief minister of Andhra, who is Jagan Mohan Reddy, if there is a record of that, and they could in fact actually state whether it's always been contaminated or is it just one particular sample this time in July.
Well, investigation is going on. In fact, we are learning that vigilance officials have also called in, sent notices to former TTD board members as well, is what we are hearing from sources, that these notices were sent out right after these checks had taken place to set up an inquiry as to what had happened. But in fact, the Tirumala had also put out a warning saying stern action will be given. Those tenders that do not, meet the checklist of the Tirumala, what is usually done is that they are either, given a stern action warning that is being given, or, if it's a repeated offender of sorts, then they are also blacklisted, and a show cause notice that is being given to these, these persons. That's what we are getting to hear from the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam boards as well.
All right, Apurva, appreciate you joining us. I asked you all of these questions because there are so many devotees, there are so many people who have such strong belief in the Tirupati temple that it would be blasphemous to even think that the prasadam from the temple could in fact be adulterated, and adulterated with nothing less than beef lard and, fish oil. So we're going to keep a keen eye. For now, there was an investigation, and we will let our viewers know exactly what was there in the prasadam. With that, let's quickly move on. It's a landmark moment for Indian democracy. That is what the government of India has said, that the Modi government gave their all clear for the One Nation, One Election proposal on Wednesday, and now triggering a huge firestorm from the opposition. The India alliance rubbished the cabinet nod, with the Congress calling a move against the constitution and federalism, while the TMC has labelled this a stunt. AIMIM chief Owaisi has also called it a bid to wipe out regional parties.
The Congress party doesn't believe in this one nation, one election. Practically, it is not possible. Just I was speaking to some of my Tamil Nadu friends. Still 2 years elections will be there, what they can do. Some will have 3 elections in the mid-time. So it is very difficult. They want to ease out all the state parties. They only feel that only national parties should survive. In democracy, in the federal structure, you can't do that. So they are taking a big risk.
The problem is we got here for a reason. We have a parliamentary system. In 52, 57, 62, 67, we had one nation, one election. But many of the state governments elected in 67 collapsed. They were not able to sustain their majority. Therefore, the election calendar in those states changed. They collapsed at different times, so elections came at different times. In 1971, the election that was supposed to happen in 72 happened 1 year earlier. It was dissolved. You find that the calendar keeps shifting like this.
626 पेजेस की रिपोर्ट थी ये, वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन, और 191 दिनों में पूरी हुई है ये पूरी. लगभग 100 पेजेस प्रतिदिन का आंकड़ा है अगर हम हिसाब किताब लगाएं तो. इसी से पता चलता है कि इसके बारे में कितना सतही पर दिखावटी चर्चा हुई होगी. तो सोचिए कितना चर्चा हुई होगी. अगर इतनी बड़ी रिपोर्ट थी 18,626 पेजों की, तो क्या चर्चा हुई होगी उस पर. दरअसल ये भाजपाई रिपोर्ट है जो तैयार हुई है. वन नेशन, वन इलेक्शन और वन डोनेशन.
All right, with that, it's a wrap of this edition of 7 at 7. On the other side is To The Point, and we're going to focus on the state of Haryana. It's a war of manifestos. Manifesto versus manifesto. If you take away the name of the parties, they actually look exactly identical. We're going to get you more. Do stay with us. On the other side, it's To The Point.
Shut the door. Your antics make me bored, cause I just came around to say hello.
Motorola Razr 50. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
India Today Conclave 2024. September 25th and 26th, Mumbai. Book your seat now. Visit indiatodayconclave.com.
पाकिस्तान के रक्षा मंत्री ने एक टीवी इंटरव्यू में कहा कि पाकिस्तान का, कांग्रेस का और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का एक ही स्टैंड है 370 और 35A को लेकर. उन्होंने कहा कि कांग्रेस और अगर एनसीपी की सरकार आती है तो जो पाकिस्तान की मांग है कि भारत के जम्मू कश्मीर के ऊपर 370 और 35A लगनी चाहिए, वो लग जाएगी. ये ऐसा क्यों है? जो पाकिस्तान का एजेंडा है, जो पन्नू का एजेंडा है देश तोड़ने का, वही राहुल गांधी का एजेंडा है. राहुल गांधी सत्ता हासिल करने के लिए देश के दुश्मनों के साथ हाथ मिलाते हैं, और देश के दुश्मन भी खुलेआम ये कहते हैं कि हम और राहुल गांधी एक हैं. हमारा और कांग्रेस का और राहुल गांधी का एक एजेंडा है.
Pakistan's defense minister on a TV channel in Pakistan claims that Pakistan and National Conference Congress are on the same page when it comes to restoration of Article 370 and 35A. This is not the first time that the Congress National Conference are singing the tunes of Pakistan. In fact, Rahul Gandhi was the first one to utter statements in sync with Pakistan's statements on Article 370. Why, for the sake of elections, would Congress Party and National Conference now allow foreign powers and inimical powers to intervene into India's matter, to become puppets of their agenda? 3, time and again, in Desh Modi Virod, you end up doing such Desh Virod that you stand with the enemy of the state, enemy of the country.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
पाकिस्तान के रक्षा मंत्री द्वारा ये स्पष्ट करना, कांग्रेस व नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हम सभी एक पेज पर हैं। इससे स्पष्ट होता है कि अलगाववाद की भाषा, देश को तोड़ने की भाषा, आतंकवादियों को जेल से छोड़ने की बात वो पाकिस्तान से गांधी व अब्दुल्ला को मिल रही हैं। ये पाकिस्तान के इशारों पर नाच रहे हैं। पाकिस्तान धारा 370 व 35 से वापस लेने के एजेंडे को राहुल गांधी व फारूक अब्दुल्ला जम्मू कश्मीर में आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं।
ख्वाजा आसिफ जो डिफेंस मिनिस्टर हैं पाकिस्तान के, उनका जो बयान आया है उसका जवाब कांग्रेस को, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस को देना पड़ेगा। ख्वाजा आसिफ कह रहे हैं कि वह इस पक्ष में है और वह कांग्रेस के और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के समर्थन में है कि धारा 335 से वापस आने की। और इसका जवाब तो राहुल गांधी, खड़गे साहब, उमर अब्दुल्ला साहब को देना है कि क्या आप पाकिस्तान से समर्थन मांग रहे हैं? क्या क्रॉस दी बॉर्डर एक एजेंडा है आपके साथ जो मिला हुआ है? तो ये उसी प्रकार है जब 370-35 से हटी थी तो राहुल गांधी ने कहा यहाँ कत्लो गैरत हो गई, और सच है कि एक बूंद नहीं खून की गिरी थी। और उनके उस बयान को इमरान खान ने यूएन में जाकर कोट किया था। अब जवाब तो देना पड़ेगा।
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Good evening, you're watching To The Point. I am Preeti Choudhry. It's raining poll swaps in the state of Haryana. Manifesto versus manifesto. Yesterday, if it was the Congress in Haryana releasing its manifesto, today it was the Sankalp Patra released by JP Nadda in Rohtak. I want to tell you, viewers, if you take away the name of the parties from both these manifestos, it'd be very difficult to actually infer which manifesto is of which party, because they actually look identical, near identical. But one thing, if you read through the manifesto, which has changed over the years, is its raining sops. Call it populist manifestos, or with what the Prime Minister termed, but in Haryana, both the sarkars are looking at distributing reverie. Depends now who the people want. I just want to take you through both the manifestos. The Haryana BJP today in Rohtak released its manifesto, Sankalp Patra, with a lineup of 20 promises, countering the Congress's Saath guarantees. The BJP's promises include a financial boon of 2,100 for women under the Lado Lakshmi scheme. And I'll tell you what's interesting, because the Congress yesterday in its manifesto promised 2,000 rupees for women. So if the Congress is promising 2,000, BJP is saying 100 more, 2,100 we are going to give. Guaranteed MSP for 24 crops, exactly what the Congress is giving as well. Guaranteed government jobs for every Haryana Agniveer and a welfare board of 36 backward clans. Read the Congress's manifesto, very similar. Now I'll tell you where the Congress's pledge is concerned. Congress is giving 2,000 per month to women. The BJP is giving 100 rupees more. A legal MSP guaranteed. The BJP is giving legal MSP guarantee on 24 crops. Free power to 300 units and a caste survey. That's the difference here. The Congress has promised a caste survey, keenly looking at the Dalit vote bank, which seemed to have gravitated towards it in the Lok Sabha elections. However, also increased creamy layer limit to 10 lakh. Now, the BJP criticized the Congress manifesto, accusing it of merely replicating promises from earlier campaigns in Himachal Pradesh, Rajasthan. The BJP also condemned the freebie culture perpetrated by Congress, claiming it undermines development and has led to financial ruin in Congress-led states. But the BJP's manifesto reads exactly like the Congress manifesto. Listen in.
अगर हम उन पार्टियों की चर्चा करें तो उनका मैनिफेस्टो, रियल मैनिफेस्टो तो ये था, जमीन का घोटाला, औने पौने दाम में जमीन को लेना और उससे मुनाफा कमाना, किसानों की जमीन को हड़पना और उसके लैंड यूज को बदलना, ये सारी, आप बताइए 10 साल पहले भ्रष्टाचार की छवि थी कि नहीं सरकारों की? हरियाणा की हर सरकार भ्रष्टाचारी कहलाती थी कि नहीं कहलाती?
मैं जो उसमें संकल्प लिया है, मैं बधाई देता हूं, शुभकामनाएं देता हूं, क्योंकि हमने चाहे 2014 का संकल्प पत्र था, 2019 का संकल्प पत्र था, हमने उसको 100% पूर्ण किया है। ये संकल्प पत्र हमारे लिए एक ध्येय वाक्य है, हमारा कमिटमेंट है, और ये आदरणीय मोदी जी के साथ उनके सहयोग से 100% इसको हम पूरा करेंगे।
2014 का ही घोषणा पत्र लिए लोग लिए घूम रहे हैं, ना 15 लाख आए, ना किसान की आमदनी दुगनी हुई, ना जवान को 1 रैंक 1 पेंशन मिला, अग्निवीर और मिल गई, ना डीजल पेट्रोल सस्ता हुआ, ना महंगाई कम हुई। तो 2014 का उनका घोषणा पत्र आज तक लोग लिए घूम रहे हैं। भाजपा के 24 का घोषणा पत्र कौन मानेगा? और उन्होंने घोषणा पत्र में कई ऐसी बातें कही हैं कि उन्होंने हमारी बात मान ली। 500 रुपये में गैस का सिलेंडर जो कांग्रेस के घोषणा पत्र में, उसको कॉपी कर लिया। 10 साल तक महंगाई क्यों नहीं दिखी, तब महंगाई भत्ता क्यों नहीं दिया महिलाओं को। तो हमारी ये जीत है, भाजपा का घोषणा पत्र कांग्रेस की एक बड़ी नैतिक जीत है।
So with what we've essentially told you, they both look identical, but they're both criticizing each other on their own manifesto. But the important question will be, which manifesto would the people of Haryana want to vote for? Or rather, which political party do the people of Haryana want to vote for? What will stick? Let's cut across and take that question to our panelists this evening. Joining me, Swati Malik, spokesperson Congress, Siddharth Yadav, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, Ravindra Singh Sharon, senior journalist, Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist. रविंदर जी, सबसे पहले आपके पास ही आते हैं। जरा एक चीज बताइए, अगर दोनों पार्टियों का नाम हटा दिया जाए तो दोनों ही संकल्प पत्र लगता है एक जैसे ही हैं। एक 2000 महिलाओं को दे रहा है, एक 100 रुपए और देगा, 2100 रुपए देगा महिलाओं को। एक एमएसपी दे रहा है, दूसरा भी एमएसपी दे रहा है। समझ नहीं आ रहा इसमें अलग क्या है।
जी नमस्कार प्रीति जी, बिल्कुल आपने ठीक बात कही, और आपने वही बात कही जो हरियाणा के एक बड़े पॉपुलर लीडर देवीलाल ने बोला था कि अगर मैनिफेस्टो का पहला पन्ना फाड़ दिया जाए तो अंतर बता नहीं पाएंगे कि भीतर क्या है। बिल्कुल आपने सही बात वही बात पकड़ी है। दोनों एक जैसे मैनिफेस्टोज हैं। जो बातें कांग्रेस ने कल की, बीजेपी ने आज की, केवल दिन का अंतर है, बाकी कुछ भी अंतर नहीं है। और खास बात देखिए कि पिछले 10 साल का अगर मैनिफेस्टो कोई पार्टी रिलीज करे तो कम से कम उसको अपना ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड जरूर बताना चाहिए, क्योंकि 10 साल कांग्रेस ने भी राज किया, 10 साल बीजेपी ने भी राज किया। उन दोनों ने उस दौरान क्या काम किया था उसके बारे में कोई चर्चा नहीं होती, लेकिन फ्यूचर का एक विजन बताने की कोशिश की जाती है। और उससे क्या है कि लोग हर 5 साल में कहानी बदल जाती है, लेकिन मसले आज भी वही हैं। आज भी देखिए, जब बीजेपी के विधायक और बल्कि कुछ कांग्रेस के भी प्रत्याशी जब वो अपने अपने क्षेत्र में जा रहे हैं तो लोग उन्हीं मुद्दों पर उनको घेर रहे हैं। आज भी यही कह रहे हैं कि बिजली नहीं है, आज भी कह रहे हैं कि सड़क देखिए, आप सैनिटेशन की व्यवस्था देखिए, पानी तक नहीं आता है। आज भी वही मसले हैं। और जिस तरह का फ्री कल्चर है, फ्री बीज के बात है, ये धीरे धीरे आ रहा है। हालांकि शुरुआत इसकी बहुत पहले से हो गई थी। हरियाणा में जब चौधरी देवीलाल ने 100 रुपए वृद्धावस्था पेंशन की थी, बीजेपी ने उसका जिक्र नहीं किया। और मुझे लगता है ये एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर हरियाणा में हर चुनाव में रहा है कि कांग्रेस ने कल 6000 रुपए वृद्धावस्था पेंशन की बात की थी, बीजेपी ने उस पर कोई जिक्र नहीं किया। बीजेपी मुझे लगता है उस पर साइलेंट है जी। तो ये कुछ एक इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज हैं। और एक देखिए अग्निवीर की, अग्निवीर बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर है हरियाणा में। अग्निवीर में 100% नौकरी देने की बात बीजेपी ने कही है, लेकिन उन लोगों का क्या, उन फौजी लोगों का क्या दोष है जो पूरी नौकरी करके आए, 20 साल तक जिन्होंने नौकरी की है, उनको तो अभी तक नौकरियां नहीं मिली हैं। तो
जी रविंदर जी, मैं यही सवाल आपसे जरा फिर से पूछती हूँ, क्योंकि हमने वो तो टच कर लिया कि दोनों तो बिल्कुल आइडेंटिकल लगते हैं। अब इनमें जो डिफरेंसेस हैं मेन एक तो बात यही है, जो 6000 वृद्ध पेंशन की बात हुई है, अगर आप सिमिलैरिटीज की बात करें कि जो हेल्थ स्कीम है जो कांग्रेस ने ऑफर की है वैसे ही बीजेपी ने ऑफर की है। जो हमने महिलाओं को डायरेक्ट कैश ट्रांसफर की बात हो गई वो आइडेंटिकल है। कांग्रेस कास्ट सर्वे कह रहा है वो नहीं मेंशन है बीजेपी के उसमें। तो जो डिफरेंसेस हैं अभी वो जरूर बता दीजिए।
जी बिल्कुल, देखिए कास्ट सर्वे बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और कांग्रेस पार्टी बहुत लंबे समय से इसको यूज कर रही है चुनाव के तौर पर। ओपीएस भी नहीं है बीजेपी के मैनिफेस्टो में, ओपीएस का जिक्र भी नहीं है। और ज्वाइनिंग का जिक्र जरूर कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सीटी जो एक बहुत बड़ा मसला है नौकरी को लेके, उसमें क्या तब्दीलियां करेंगे उस पर भी मैनिफेस्टो में जिक्र नहीं किया गया। और जबकि सीईटी से करीब 15 से 20 लाख जो युवा बच्चे हैं जिन्होंने वो एग्जाम में फॉर्म अप्लाई किया था, उसका कोई जिक्र नहीं है। कांग्रेस के मैनिफेस्टो में उसके बारे में चर्चा की गई थी, इसमें नहीं है। दूसरा, 10 लाख रुपए की योजना बीजेपी कह रही है, कांग्रेस ने इसको 25 लाख बोला है। अब 10 लाख की जो योजना है, आयुष्मान भारत की योजना तो पहले से चल रही है जिसको हरियाणा ने अडॉप्ट किया है, तो क्या उसमें कुछ दिक्कत है जो 5 लाख से बढ़ाकर 10 लाख करनी पड़ रही है बीजेपी को? ये एक इंपॉर्टेंट है। और वृद्धावस्था पेंशन की जिक्र इसमें देखिए नहीं है। इसका जिक्र जरूर है कि 2000 रुपए हम महिलाओं को दिया जाएगा, कांग्रेस बीजेपी उससे 100 रुपए बढ़ाकर देगी। तो इस तरह की बातों का जिक्र है। फार्मर्स के बारे में एक इंपॉर्टेंट है, फार्मर्स के बारे में कांग्रेस पार्टी ने कहा कि उनका स्मारक बनाया जाएगा, लेकिन बीजेपी उनके स्मारक बनाने पर खामोश है। वो अभी तक एमएसपी की लीगल गारंटी की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन 24 फसलों में से कितनी सारी फसलें ऐसी हैं जो हरियाणा में पैदा नहीं होती है, तो उस पर भी वो क्लियर अगर बताते तो शायद। ग्रामीण
क्षेत्र में जो छात्र हैं उनको स्कूटर भी मिलेगा बीजेपी के उस मैनिफेस्टो में।
उनको स्कूटर बिल्कुल मिलेगा, लेकिन आज भी कई महिलाएं ऐसी हरियाणा में हैं जो न्याय का इंतजार कर रही हैं, उनके बारे में भी खामोश है मैनिफेस्टो बीजेपी का।
चलिए, डिफरेंसेस और जो हैं वो तो हमने बता दिए, बट आई जस्ट वांट टू ब्रिंग इन अमिताभ तिवारी इन ऑल ऑफ दिस. अमिताभ तिवारी, you know what's really interesting is of late, if you actually look at it, you know, they'll criticize each other, they will call it freebies, they will call it populist budgets, they will call it revdi, but they're both giving it now. And it's practically the same. This is what the nature of politics has become, transactional.
Yeah, so essentially, if you see, the manifesto promises are largely the same, and it addresses the bigger problems. So what are the bigger problems across India or in Haryana? The bigger problems are unemployment. So both have promised state government jobs. The bigger problem is rural distress. So both are promising a cash income support to women. Other bigger problem is agriculture distress. So MSP for crops. Other bigger problem is inflation. So you have LPG gas cylinders at 500. See, what happens is that manifesto promises, there is no significant study in India which shows that there is a correlation between voter behavior and manifesto promises. In UK this year, when the elections were held, 28% people said that their voting decision were impacted by manifesto promises. This study was done in India late back in 2016 in Kerala, where only 13% said that they would matter a lot. See, manifestos are seen differently by voters for different political parties. If you're in opposition, then it gives the voter an indication or a roadmap of what the plan of action will be. But if you're in power, then the voter is more concerned about the track record of the government over the past 5 to 10 years and how it has performed vis-a-vis the promises they made last time. If the voter is convinced that the track record of the government vis-a-vis the manifesto promises is good, then it gives confidence to the voter that these promises will be fulfilled. Now, from an opposition perspective also, only manifesto promises. So, I mean, promising the moon does not help unless there is discontent among the voters. So it's an add-on factor. It's an additional factor. First, there has to be discontent or anger amongst the voters. Right. And then the manifesto promises helps them to take the...
well, you are right there, because ultimately, if you look at, you know, of any other political party in any other state, if they've come good on their manifesto, the BJP and the Congress struggling. And on each of the states, look at Karnataka, Himachal still struggling, Swati Malik, to deliver on the promises.
Preeti, the promises are being fulfilled as well. In Telangana also, the guarantees that the Congress gave have been fulfilled. Now, coming to what the manifesto...
But Swati Malik, in Himachal, the people are still waiting for your OPS scheme.
Absolutely.
To actually roll in its full capacity.
Correct. It's under process and it will happen. It will happen. We are still talking about it. We're discussing it will happen. But let's
You already declared bankruptcy in that state?
No. See, that's again, this is politics, Preeti. This is politics. There are going to be ups and downs. Even if the bankruptcy has been declared, we will overcome it, and whatever our guarantees have been will be fulfilled, as we've done so in Telangana and Karnataka. Now, coming to the Haryana manifesto, which is under discussion right now, you have very correctly said that BJP has absolutely copy-pasted what the Congress announced yesterday. You did not use these words. You said they're identical rather. BJP just increased, twerked it a little bit. Let's put it that way. But if you and the voters here are going to look at who has done what. Sharan ji ne bahut अच्छे से बोला कि अभी voters देखेंगे किसने क्या काम किया है. Who should the voter believe? Now the voter will believe when you put up the mark sheet. When you compare the two mark sheets of what BJP has done in last 10 years and what the Congress has done before that. Not even obviously we've not been there for 10 years, the last 10 years. So when you compare the two mark sheets, that is what the people, the voters of Haryana will see as what they also saw in the central elections. And just to make it a little convenient for your viewers, of course, there are a lot of charts and comparisons. But when we come down to even, for example, education. Now, education, there's not a single new university, national university that has been opened or inaugurated by the BJP in last 10 years in Haryana. You talk about teachers. There's zero JBT appointments rather last 10 years. Whereas while Congress was there, it was 25,000. There are 2 lakh vacant positions, vacant posts when it comes to Haryana.
There was also a massive scam where the teachers hiring was concerned.
You want me to give a list of the scams?
Parchis come from the state of Haryana only.
No, Preeti, but what happened in those scams? What did the BJP, when the BJP took over, did they arrest anybody? If they were arrested, what has been the result of those scams? And there's a list of about 35 scams which have happened in Haryana in the last 10 years. You know, it is very easy for BJP to say, like, Mr. Nadda.
Okay, just hold that thought. I want to bring in Siddharth Yadav there. Siddharth Yadav, you know, the fact is, you can criticize the Congress. You can take it on multiple aspects. But it's a little rich, Siddharth Yadav, if you are going to take on the Congress on the basis of their manifesto. Because अगर वो रेवड़ी बेच रहे हैं तो आप गज्जक बेच रहे हैं. एक ही चीज है सर.
बिल्कुल भी एक चीज नहीं है प्रीति. And I think there's a difference in what we should call the documents that have also been laid by both the parties, because theirs is a manifesto and ours is a Sankalp Patra. And there's a very big difference. Congress party over the years has downgraded the sanctity of the manifesto of the Sankalp Patra that has to be given to the states, has to be dedicated to the people. We have seen what is happening in Himachal. We are seeing what is happening in Karnataka. We are seeing what is happening for the promises that the Congress party does. Now the Congress spokesperson here says कि वो तो politics है. वो politics नहीं, वो misgovernance है. When you don't have the budgetary allocation, when you don't have a clear-cut plan of how you're going to implement things, and then you make any promises, this is what happens, and that is what they're trying to do in Haryana as well. But before I make my two crisp points, I wish to play a video of the Asand candidate Shamsher Gogi of what he's saying here.
जो बाहर से हमारी मदद में आ रहे हैं, भाईचारे ने भी करेंगे और पहले अपना घर तो भरेंगे
He is making a statement कि जैसे ही हमारी सरकार बनेगी हम अपना घर तो भरेंगे. This was the चाल चरित्र and चेहरा of the Congress party over the years. If you're if you want to compare the mark sheets of the two governments that have happened, 10 years the Congress party ruled Haryana, 10 years we have ruled Haryana. What was the per capita income then? It was something over 1,50,000. What is it now? Over 3 lakhs. How many unicorns were there in Haryana? 0. How many are there today? More than 10. So when such a things happen, how many sarkari nokris were there? 86,000 in 10 years. How many happened now? 1,46,000. So there's a clear, stark difference of what a rule of governance has been, which was dedicated to the people of Haryana by the BJP governance in 10 years, has brought prosperity in the state of Haryana. Okay. Their kharchi parchi model had only brought tyranny on the people of Haryana. They had seen the misrule. They had seen the mismanagement. And today, the Sankalp Patra of the Bharatiya Janata Party is the clear-cut plan of what is going to happen in the next 5 years.
Again, I'll tell you why it's a little rich coming from you. Because, yes, it's bizarre that the Congress hasn't been able to deliver on its promises in certain states like the state of Himachal, not completed where the old pension scheme is concerned. But it inherited the debt, no, Siddharth Yadav? 90% of Himachal's debt has been inherited by your political party who was governing the state of Himachal Pradesh. Number one. Number two, you talk about misgovernance and debt. Ladli Behna Yojana has put the state of Madhya Pradesh in a debt of 4 lakh crores. 4 lakh crores, Siddharth Yadav.
Preeti, I absolutely do not agree with both your points. Number one, the first point that you raise about the debt inheritance, this is the same point which is being raised, the kind of face saving that is being trying to be done by the Chief Minister, Congress Chief Minister Sukhoji. But you should listen to the debates of what is happening in Vidhan Sabha. The mismanagement of Congress party after they have taken over, the over promises that they had done, the attempts that they tried to fulfill their promises, the manifesto that
nobody's
they
denying that. Nobody's denying that
has brought this to them.
But nobody's denying that. But I'm saying you're none the richer. No high moral ground. You're none the richer. You are none the richer. It's exactly the same.
Preeti.
It can't be a pot calling the kettle black can't happen. Madhya Pradesh is in debt because you made promises
very sorry,
which
Preeti.
you struggle to keep.
I'm very sorry, but we are. We are, because when we make a promise of
Ladli Behna Yojana... Okay, as somebody who's on the outside...
I'll just take 10 seconds. When we promise to do a Ladli Behna Yojana, we do it before the elections. We prove it to the people that we can do it from our budget. We are unlike Karnataka.
Do you know how much you raised? No, but you did not take it from the budget.
We are unlike Karnataka. Let me
one second, Siddharth Yadav. You raised the money of Madhya Pradesh 1 month before elections.
Preeti, please let me complete. We are unlike Karnataka, which says that we will decrease the fares in buses, but we'll increase the overall fares. We'll increase the prices of petrol and diesel. We'll decrease the prices of liquor. But everything in the state is going to get expensive. We are unlike
Yadav,
Congress in
your
Himachal
charges
Pradesh,
on the Congress are correct. But your defense for your own party is not. Okay, I just want to quickly cut across to the other two panelists that I have. Ravinder Singh Sharon, आप कोई point raise करना चाह रहे थे, आपने अपनी उंगली उठाई थी, बताइए.
देखिए, मैं तो यही कह रहा हूं प्रीति जी कि मैनिफेस्टोज लेके आना इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर है, लेकिन कितने लोगों तक इन पार्टीज का मैनिफेस्टो पहुंचता है वो भी एक इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर है। और सिद्धार्थ भाई की एक बात से मैं बड़ा सहमत हूं। इन्होंने कहा कि असंध के विधायक ने जो बात बोली, सर आप नीरज को क्यों भूल गए? नीरज शर्मा एनआईटी, उन्होंने कितनी अच्छी बात बोली है। उन्होंने कहा कि 50-50 लोगों वोट दीजिए, हम आपको नौकरी देंगे। आप अगर चुनाव मैदान में आ रहे हैं तो उन पार्टीज को क्रिटिसाइज कीजिए, कांग्रेस को खुल के क्यों नहीं क्रिटिसाइज कर पा रहे हैं आप लोग? ये कितना खराब स्टेटमेंट है नीरज शर्मा का, जो एमएलए है कांग्रेस पार्टी से। उन्होंने बोला 50 वोट के बदले में हम लोग एक नौकरी देंगे। हरियाणा जो इतने बड़े एक क्राइसिस से गुजर रहा है, उसमें अगर आपकी पार्टी कांग्रेस को नहीं घेर पाएगी तो हम लोग आम आदमी को कैसे पता लगेगा कि सही पार्टी कौन सी है?
शिवराज जी बिल्कुल घेरेंगे, आपकी अपेक्षाओं पे खड़े होंगे।
अच्छा, एक बात और बता दीजिए सिद्धार्थ भाई, हरियाणा में सरकार कौन सी है? कार्यवाहक मुख्यमंत्री हैं कि मुख्यमंत्री हैं?
हरियाणा में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है और वो सरकार है जो हरियाणा के अंदर हरियाणा के हित का काम
कौन है भाई साहब? मुख्यमंत्री हैं कि कार्यवाहक मुख्यमंत्री हैं? उसका कोई नोटिफिकेशन आया क्या आपके पास? आपके पास
शिवराज जी, आपको अगर हरियाणा के मुख्यमंत्री का नाम नहीं पता तो नेशनल टेलीविजन का समय मैं कैसे बर्बाद करूं बताने में?
मुझे तो कानून नहीं पता भाई साहब, आपको कानून नहीं पता।
मुझे कानून बिल्कुल पता है। हरियाणा के अंदर चुने हुए मुख्यमंत्री हैं जो जिनको विधायकों ने चुना है, और हरियाणा में नायब सिंह सैनी हरियाणा के मुख्यमंत्री
है कि मुख्यमंत्री है कि कार्यवाहक मुख्यमंत्री है? मैं तो ये पूछ रहा हूं। आप बता दीजिए, विधानसभा तो भंग हो गई।
ओके चलिए, ओके लेट्स नॉट डाइवर्ट,
अच्छा बाकी जगहों पे क्या होता है जब विधानसभा भंग होती है? कमाल बात कर रहे हैं
Okay, one final word to Amitabh Tiwari before we go into a quick break. Amitabh Tiwari, you know, the manifestos aside, and you are right where you began, because it reflects the issues of Haryana. Unemployment plaguing the state is the #1 issue, and you can see that in kind of the doles, one can say, which have been handouts, which are being handed out. The question, Amitabh Tiwari, is: do people really look at manifestos? Because ultimately, we haven't seen that happen in any state.
See, people are increasing looking at manifestos, but that's not the only influencing factor. Now, you talked about freebies. Now, both the parties have made a promise of 2,000 rupees to women per month. That is 24,000 rupees, which means even if it is paid to 1 crore women, is like 24,000 crores, which is 15% of Haryana's expenditure budget. So the election commission here has to come with guidelines as to how these manifesto promises are going to be fulfilled. Either they will have to take debt of 24,000 crores, or they have to reduce expenditure of other heads. There is no other way that this additional expenditure can be done. And this is where I think the case was in the Supreme Court. And even people then tend to take it lightly, because now everybody is promising this 2,000, 3,000 rupees, and we are struggling. The state governments are struggling to fulfill most of these promises.
You're right there, the culture of freebies, it was questioned by the top court of the country as well, but we're going to keep a keen eye on developments after the manifestos. Is it going to be bought by the people of Haryana, and if so, which political party? Because they mirror and look exactly the same, not much change, but ultimately offering a populist promise after promise, and the cost of that fairly high. A quick break, stay with us. Up next, Rahul Gandhi.
Shut the door. Your antics make me bored, cause I just came around to say hello.
Motorola Razr 50. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.